back to my little kitchen here in Lecce in the south of Italy. My name is Francesco and today it's Sunday, so that means you should be making a wonderful plate of pasta if you live in Italy, and normally that's going to mean you'll be up early in the morning to start your ragu, which is going to simmer away for hours and taste delicious. But you know what, if you live on your own and it's about 37 degrees outside, I don't think that's going to happen. Not for me today anyway. What I'm going to do is a very quick pasta that's going to be totally delicious using very few ingredients. I'm just going to use a handful of ground pork today, a little bit of fennel, some garlic, chili flakes and pecorino cheese. So the pasta is going to be white, no tomatoes. I'm using packeri, which is one of my favorite pastas, and it's all going to be made in the time it takes for them to boil. So that's all good news, especially on a hot day. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you do, please do give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And I know I keep repeating this, but I'm going to have to do it until you do it. Please subscribe to the channel and come back and follow me for more. Let's cook. For today's recipe you are going to need ground pork, fennel, your pasta of choice, I'm using packeri, pecorino cheese, chili flakes and garlic. The great thing about this recipe is that you need so few and so little of each ingredient. Take a look at how much fennel I'm using. I was making one generous portion and I needed about that much. That's not even a quarter of a fennel bulb, and this is a small one. Basically you just need a heaped tablespoonful per portion. We're going to need a clove of garlic, which we're going to peel, and then we can get straight ahead with our cooking. A good pinch of coarse sea salt into our water, and whilst it comes up to the boil, we're going to add our meat into a frying pan with no extra oil. Because as you can see, after a couple of minutes, it's giving off its own fat, and this is going to be plenty to make this dish really tasty. We're adding a pinch of salt, and we're going to keep frying it without flipping it over at the beginning, not too much at least, so that it gets nice and brown on one side. That's going to give us some good flavour. Once enough fat has come out of the meat, we can add the garlic, which is going to perfume everything nicely. As soon as the water is boiling vigorously, we can go straight in with the pasta. Mine looks a little bit strange because it was bought fresh and I froze it, so you can see a little bit of the ice still on the surface. If you ever do freeze pasta, the best way to cook it is to go straight into the saucepan with it without thawing it out. Meanwhile, as you can see, the meat is getting nice and brown, and when we're at this stage, we can add the chopped fennel and some chili flakes to taste. I like a bit of heat. Stir this in and let it cook down while the pasta boils. Packeri are pretty big, and so they usually take between 12 to 15 minutes. But we're going to fetch ours out after about 9 minutes of cooking. You'll see why. After the pasta has cooked for about 5 or 6 minutes, we can start taking some of that water and adding it to the ground pork and fennel. There's enough starch in that water now to begin turning the juices from the pork into a kind of sauce. As you just saw, I removed the garlic. It's done its work now and flavoured everything nicely and can be removed. This is the way we generally use garlic when making pasta sauces in Italy. Keep adding a little bit of water at a time to the meat as required for it to cook down whilst the pasta boils. After 9 or 10 minutes, I'm going to add the pasta into the frying pan along with quite a bit of water, as you can see, and allow it to cook together with the meat and fennel, and this is going to infuse it with flavour, and the pasta is going to give off its starch into that water, and it's going to make it nice and silky smooth. Keep the pasta moving at all times because this is what encourages the starch to come out of it. When it rubs together, it goes into the water, into those juices, and as you can see, it's becoming nice and rich. Keep adding water just a little at a time as necessary. Keep stirring, and as soon as your pasta is al dente, it's ready to serve. Once we've served up our pasta, we're going to go ahead and add plenty of that meat and all of the good juices. We're going to garnish with plenty of fresh green fennel fronds, which look wonderful and taste terrific. And then we're going to sprinkle it generously with grated pecorino cheese. And if you still think that you have to make sauce to make wonderful pasta, think again. Doesn't that just look wonderful? And now that we've made it look wonderful, we're going to turn it all upside down, make it into a beautiful, delicious mess, and we're going to enjoy. Buon appetito!